everyone, you're welcome back to my space, and today I will be having an exclusive discussion on women in politics. This week, two women have been in the spotlight for the wrong reasons: Sheikh Hasina of Bangladesh and the President of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu Hassan. My concentration is going to be more on Samia Suluhu Hassan of Tanzania. Let me quickly give you a brief background on Sheikh Hasina of Bangladesh. She was the Prime Minister of Bangladesh. She ruled for over 50 years until last year, where there was an uprising in the country. Some students took over the streets to protest against her leadership. So they demanded for political reforms, good jobs, among others. But it turned chaotic, and which also led to a threat on her life, and she was forced into exile in India. So now on Monday, the court sentenced her to death in absentia for causing crimes against humanity. Now let's move to Samia Suluhu of Tanzania. She became president in 2021 after the death of her predecessor. She belongs to the CCM political party, a party that has been in power for a very long time in Tanzania. So this year, 2025, happens to be the election year in Tanzania, and they held their presidential elections on the 29th of October. Meanwhile, the main opposition party, that's the Chadema party, was disqualified from contesting. So Samia went into the contest with 16 other candidates. However, some reports suggested that these 16 other candidates had affiliation with the governing party. So they considered it was undemocratic. Now, the interesting thing here is, on the election day, protesters, especially supporters of the opposition, took over the streets of Tanzania to protest against the election, or like they felt like the election undermined democracy. It wasn't fair and it wasn't transparent as well. Unfortunately, they clashed with security forces, leading to a lot of death, injuries, and some of the protesters were even forced to escape to neighboring country like Kenya. The government of Tanzania also shut down the internet. So the local media, the international media, they were not able to access data on the extent of brutality in the country. Now, it was until after her swearing in on the 3rd of November that the media were now able to access data on the extent of the brutalities. A lot of people died. Even CNN released a satellite footage on how people were murdered. There were even mass burial as well, including a pregnant man who was shot at the back. Very unfortunate. Now, I'm not happy, because all these things are happening under women leaders. Already, women are lag behind in the political space with regards to some prominent leadership titles. And so it saddens my heart to see a woman leader allowing things like this to happen under her watch. Very, very unfortunate. There's no progress in women taking leadership title. So now there's something interesting I found on the website of UN Women. So according to available data, 19 countries across 32 countries have women as head of states, and 22 have a woman as head of government. And you realize that, so this would make you realize that women participation in politics is very low. There is no much progress, especially with countries entrusting women to take up certain prominent leadership titles. So this is to urge Samia Suluhu to take things calm, and she still has a lot of years ahead. So she should try to not oppress citizens in her country, allow citizens to express their concerns. If things are not going well with them, allow them. Because your actions are undermining or fighting back efforts by some international organizations, the CSOs, who are trying very well to empower women to take up leadership titles in their countries. So this also reinforces certain negative narratives about women leadership, and she isn't doing anything right. I would love to acknowledge some women leaders who have done marvelously well. Former Prime Minister of the UK, Theresa May, also the former Chancellor of Germany, Angela Merkel. We also currently have female president in Mexico. They may have their faults, alright, but under their watch, we've not witnessed people being brutally murdered or killed just because they simply voiced out their concerns or their dissatisfaction about some of the actions of government. So guys, that'll be all for our exclusive discussion. Bye!